It's 1 o'clock.
Hit the button. Let me do a little intro.
Okay. Back
Let's
it
just
on
have the
up.
start
Do the
stream in
intro.
there. Boof. Yes, we're okay with that, YouTube. We're going good. All right, thank you. Regarding 365 Mrs. Centre Show, we are covering off a few things quite interesting today. There's praise in teams. That's the
Yes.
song. Remind me.
I don't know.
Automatic processing of small changes in meeting details. Who's getting sick of those repetitive message updates, meeting updates? Me. And man, one thing that I'm really excited about is the proliferation of search. Wherever you work, it should be arriving in your tenant. If not now, anytime soon. See you in the episode. And a quick system check. Yeah, I can see my levels are bouncing around. This is good. We are here, the Regarding 365 Message Centre Show. Daniel
What's
Glenn.
up, Darrell?
What are you the home of this morning?
What am
Did I
I
drop
the
it on
home
you?
of? I I think you're talking about Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville.
Nashville, Tennessee, USA, the home of the 2019 NFL Draft. The National Football League here in the U.S. will be having their annual draft where they get the college players and draft them to different teams. That draft will be happening here in Nashville this month in about 3 weeks or so.
Wow. So all colleges do the draft from the same place, and they
No,
cycle
all
around different
NFL
places.
teams, all NFL teams do the
Yes.
draft, and they're all in the same place, and it's a
Yeah.
huge event. They're going to be putting a humongous tent. I remember they did it in Chicago. I was there right after they did it in Chicago one year, and they took over the whole park. What was that park name? Anyway, humongous tent. It's going to be amazing. There's going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of extra people here, and it's going to be
All right.
fun. So
All right.
there you
Pictures,
go.
please. Enjoy.
Yes.
365 Message Centre Show. We have a few messages which have given us some
Yes.
raised eyebrows and some that are interesting and good. Let's take a look. Yeah, that looks good. All right. This is still the message center in preview. Let's click on into specifically the message center. Come on. Loading. One of the initial messages that was there, really? What's going on there? I kind of struggled to think, is this something that we covered last week?
Right.
I think it was
We
this
covered the
one.
transparency one.
We
the
covered
mail
that
flow
one. Did we
was-
do the flow
Yep.
insights? We did.
We did not.
So we didn't. All right. Let's go back
Nope.
to that one. I had a feeling we did half of that one on that day because it was like something arrived and then we
It
just
arrived when
addressed
we
it.
hung up, Darrell.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, updated feature for mail flow insights. 6 new insight reports added to the mail flow security compliance center. Yeah, gradually rolling those out to the entire organization over April.
Yep.
What mail flow insights? What trying to discover more about what's happening to your mail as it's coming in.
Right. As
can't
it's
say-
flowing about. Yes.
Yeah.
That's just making sure this is actually a thing. Don't discredit this as being, oh, you're in Office 365, so you don't need to worry about this. You most certainly do. Making sure that your email is flowing correctly into the correct servers, especially in your hybrid. So this is actually a really good thing. We talk about this all the time of getting new insights, getting new information about what's happening, under the covers in 365, and I think this is a big deal. Just a little bit more information, right, Darrell? Just give us a
Yeah.
little bit more as to understanding what's going on. So
No, I mean, relating it back to some of those old searches that we used to have to do. When the CEO or someone important walks into your office and says, I sent this email and it has not arrived and I want you to trace it. And they want you to
Right.
go and, figure out where it is. And so you can see the various steps that it's following on through.
Right.
Now, you can still do those traces, but these insights are going to be, sort of bundled up and presented for you so that you won't be drilling down to specific messages, but you can certainly sort of detect a trend. Like if there's a blockage or there's something that's occurred with one of your SMTP relays on your on-prem. Yeah, like I can't say that I spend a lot of time in Exchange these days, but you're right, Dan. You can't just assume that it's just going to run and do its thing. It still needs to be someone's role to check over things and be familiar.
Right.
Yep.
Speaking of Exchange.
Yeah. I'll exchange the torch and hand it over to you.
But I think the one thing I just wanted to start off with is this idea here. It says it's talking about, and it gives you the actual item number that it's referencing, saying that they introduced this audit of mail reads by default owners and admins and delegates. I think that's cool. This is the 176.515, but which is talking about the rollout of mail reads within Exchange Online. But in the body, it mentions the MC171679. I'd like to see a link there to, each one of these has a link that you can click on. Maybe that one has been removed. I've noticed some get removed and are not accessible later. But I like that, to be able to say, instead of just saying, hey, we said this before, actually give us a link to it so we can read that information that you said before. So I like this, but I kind of digress here. But this is really talking about when you, as an admin, do read mail and having that access, you want to be able to audit when those accesses, when those messages are being accessed by, not the intended person, right? An admin who's trying to investigate things and so forth. So being able to show what was done via audit. So this is great. Don't you think, Darrell? I mean, just having the ability to track. Yeah.
If you go down into, well, first of all, it's going to be measuring how many times you've read your own messages. So that could be insightful to an admin if they're trying to determine something. Oh, look, going back to that scenario where we had our CEO that said, I haven't received an email, or an email hasn't been received. You could go in and say, well, actually, sir, ma'am, you did receive it. It was a couple of weeks ago. I could see that you've read it. Perhaps you deleted it. Can I help you recover it from somewhere? Oh, you're right. Actually, I did. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. But it's
so
also
this message. I mean, this message. And I say this is, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but this message being that they're rolling this feature back.
Yeah,
and
I know.
So I think when I don't remember us covering this. I know we did, but I don't remember us covering it. But maybe we should find that episode. Ooh, I'll leave that task to you, Darrell. Thank you very much for.
Oh yeah, sure, I'll do it
that.
On the plane.
But I find that very important, and so it's very interesting to see them rolling this back and taking that feature away.
I think, like, when they make a choice like this, and they have done it for other things, it's better to have something removed and refined than it's sitting there and causing misinformation or trouble. And maybe that's what they've determined, or that it's inaccurate data. I think there was another thing like this where they removed, and it was actually not helping the story of actual usage analytics. But what I would say they find really useful, and you mentioned it, is it's not necessarily just about the owner of the mailbox and them accessing it, but who else has been reading this message and going back and being able to audit and track that. So we look forward to this feature returning for those who need to run through these kinds of traces and check things out. Quick shout out to those in the chat room. Thanks for joining us. Phil Worrell, Christine Green, Stephen Collier, Suzanne Hunt. Hello in New Zealand, Suzanne Hunt. Daylight savings soon, and this is relevant to you and I, Dan, and the timing of the episode in this side of the world. This weekend in New Zealand, Australia, and a couple of other places, daylight savings clicking over, so we'll change up that start time. And did we miss anyone else? Probably just some lurkers that are watching but not chatting. Hey, drop in some comments. Next message. Next review.
Next one.
Next meme. Anyway. Those of you who watch PewDiePie will understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on that.
Yeah.
Praise in teams.
Praise.
Ready for the song? Ready for the song? Well, there is that. You could go choir on me.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it. I'm just going to put my hand over my face already.
You are?
Just
All right,
go ahead.
Ready? Okay.
Yeah.
We've gone a long, long way together through the hard times and the good. I have to celebrate you, baby. I have to praise you like I should. You know that one? Fatboy Slim? I can't do all the
felt like you. It sounded familiar, but then you were singing
then
it.
I butchered it.
I'm just kidding. You did a good job. Good job, Darrell.
The song, the reason that it comes up to mind for me is we should be praising people. And a feature like this in Teams, and it already exists in Yammer, but calling out, good job, well done, creating a thread around it. I mean, yeah, you can do this as a blog post, but it's good to say, hey, job well done. A relevant example from a customer recently. They work in telecommunications, or rather, media, and they had this amazing scenario where one of their customers actually uses one of their services out on an oil rig, and it was going to cost them thousands of dollars to get someone out there to service it, and this engineer managed to figure out how to fix it remotely. Right? Didn't have to get the helicopter out there and stuff. And so they wanted to call that out as a point of praise in the org to say, look, this is what someone discovered, learn from what they did, good job, well done. Call out praise. Praise is coming to Teams.
Yes, it is. It'll be able to, just like you're talking about, recognize colleagues' contributions by sending badges. There's another reference you could probably throw in there about badges. But leadership, team player, and problem solver are just a few of the options. It'll be interesting to see. I know what the first request I'm going to hear is, well, can we put in our own
custom badges?
And be able to edit these badges and all this. So I'm sure that request is coming, but completing the rollout this month. So this is coming soon. In fact, I already have an update in Teams here recently, but so it's coming very, very soon.
And look, it's a simple feature, but it does make all the difference. It's actually quite relevant to my talk over in South Africa and coming up to a couple of conferences. It's an important part of employee engagement when you recognize people for what they're doing. Not tall poppy syndrome and trying to embarrass them, but it's a genuine pat on the back. And it also helps that person to feel like they're valued and what they've contributed.
Not everybody is motivated primarily by money or primarily by promotions or title. It has been proven over and over, both real world, actually working and being in organizations, my personal experience, as well as studies that have been done, that a simple praise can go a long way when you call out what your coworkers, what your reports or your managers or people who just you've noticed are doing a great job. That can have a major impact on morale, not just for them, but for others that are seeing that is something that's happening within the organization. Hey, I'm working for a great organization that is giving positive public feedback.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, definitely. Don't be an old grump and disable the feature. Okay, now features do come out in Microsoft 365, and it's Microsoft has learned that they have to provide an off switch, and they have to provide something that prevents it from being on by default. But what do you reckon? Turn that off?
I think leave it on. You're already using Teams, so you are already in that adopting something that's fairly new and is giving you that functionality of your employees engaging with each other and with leadership and all that. Leave it on. I don't see any reason why you would want to turn it off. I mean, I think it's one of you could probably come up with some ideas, but it's all kind of protectionism of, oh no, it might be used in a wrong way. And, deal with that based upon your company policies, right? But when it happens, don't prevent everyone else from benefiting from this.
Yeah, it's a form of announcement. It calls it out as a different kind of post. It looks different in the feed. Stephen Collier mentions that he had to add the Praise app to Teams. It's an app, right? It's not just something that you'll see there. It's something that you have to click on and say, I want to install this in my team. So it sounds like you turn it on or off for the whole org. It's on by default, and it's down to you as a team owner to enable and install that into the team. All right. Well, we'll take a closer look later. Maybe Steve can chime in and share some of his knowledge there too. Yep. Sorry about the song. It is actually one of my favorites. I quite like it.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on. Automatic processing of small changes in meeting details. What a underwhelming title. What a overwhelmingly welcome feature.
Yes. I mean, because when you go in and make
Daniel, I'm inviting you to a meeting.
Oh no.
I am, and I'm inviting about 50 others, and then I realize I've forgotten someone. All right, so I add them, but then I realize that I've got to add another detail in, and I've got this choice: do I update everyone? Yeah, I probably should. There's various different updates we do to meetings. What happens for you?
Everyone gets an email, says it's been updated. They, you wonder what in the world's going on, and I especially love the updates when you look at it. There was no way you're looking at what has been changed.
Why did I get this? Should I accept this again?
Why am I getting this email? And I think about things like there's a difference in a update showing up in your calendar and an update showing in your inbox. I want the meeting update to be updated if I'm putting in an agenda, I'm putting in, some details about the call-in number or something. I want that to update in my calendar. I don't need that in my inbox. Why would I need to read that, right? If I want to find out what's the meeting agenda is, open up the meeting item in the calendar. I love this. If you start date, end date, and time, the reoccurrence. If it's something that's a reoccurring meeting, the location. Obviously, you probably need to know that. If I'm changing it from it's in the office to across town, I probably need to know that. So those are always those are your default critical properties, but I really like this, Darrell. Less email, the better. Just keep my stuff updated for me. What am I going to do if I get an update that says, I'm adding John? Oh, no, forget that. Decline. I don't want that.
I can't stand John. He waffles on and on.
So
and on
I like
and
this.
on.
And on and on.
And on. No, I just had to add that in.
Yes.
No, that's good. And I didn't actually scroll down a bit and see those list of critical properties. I need to know if you've changed the location. Clearly. Call that out.
Yes.
But those sorts of things will be, the ones that aren't as critical will be processed in the background so that you don't get yet another message. The message is still coming through. It is still updating your copy of the invite in your own mailbox, but you won't see a message in the list to process and wonder, did I accept this?
Well, and what's really important here, Darrell, I think, as well, is that every organization has their own way of doing things. And if your organization, you have gotten used to doing, making changes that you do want to send out, maybe there are some changes we were talking about that you do want everyone to get notified for. Well, you can change those. And I really like that about this update. You can set those critical items so that anytime those things are updated, an update will be sent, an email will be sent. And then you could actually kind of disable this by turning them all on, which is the default. What is now, if you change anything, you send an update, it sends it on. So you have the ability to manage this. It's rolling out early April, which is right now. I don't know about right now, but it's April 1st as we're April 2nd for you. But it's worldwide by the end of June.
Yep.
So they're taking it seems like taking a little bit of time here, 3 months to roll this out. But anyway, I like this update. I
I
think
think
we
it's
agree.
because that's at a user level too, right? So when
Yes.
some of these updates need to come down to the end user level experience and not just a team or a wider thing, it takes a little while longer to roll that out.
And it probably is so I wonder if it's also because they want to catch the semi-annual
Oh,
um,
yeah.
cycle. That may be it because I think June is when they do the semi-annual Office update cycle.
Mm,
So that may be a reason why too.
yeah, yeah. All right, this is one that I'm excited about, and
Okay.
I was sitting on a recorded interview with Naomi Moneypenny for about
Yes, you
four
were.
weeks. You released it last night, so if you look up in the top right hand corner, you'll see underneath the little information button, there's a link there to the full interview. But she dives down deep into updates and search and talks about how it's
Mhm.
becoming more prolific across Office 365, across Microsoft 365.
Hmm.
Um, where have you seen search appear yet in your Office applications?
I'm going to
And you're
stall
telling
while
me
I
to stop
kick off
singing? What is
Word.
that?
I'm kicking off Word and
Right,
I'm stalling.
would you rather praise you like I should, or some kind of weird southern tune that's just coming out of Daniel somehow?
Okay,
Let's put a poll out
let's
there.
not have the audience
There is no choice
pitting
for nothing, by the
the
way.
presenters against each other. I think that's a bad idea. No, it is not in my tenant.
Regarding
It is not in my
365
office.
Idol.
Oh my
Regarding
goodness.
365's Got Talents. No, forget it. Um, I've got an updated version of Office on my Surface Pro, and it's got
Okay.
all the new icons and etc. And that lists the search box right up the top there
Okay.
in the application. And this is probably the most impactful place to see this change. If we go to think of search, traditionally we've gone to a search page, or we've gone to the SharePoint
Right.
home, we've gone to our search center.
Mhm.
And then in the applications, if we're searching for a feature to use, we've got that show me how, or do this for me. I forget what that feature's called. We can search for email and Outlook. We can search for this and that. The goal here is to bring all search for all things together into one box. And I see it most impactful when you go into PowerPoint, for example, and you search
Mhm.
for a person and you can see their contact card, or you
Right.
search for a document and you're just searching for, yeah, it's just all there from across all your organization. Quite something.
Well, they're bringing that experience, I think, in the app launcher, some
Mm-hmm.
call the waffle, in Office 365 websites as well, and SharePoint, et cetera, to be able to see your recent documents and see those that are shared. I
Mm.
I think this is kind of that bringing in. I saw the statistic, and I think I've said it multiple times, but it was something like 82, 83% of all documents that people open they were have been working on. It was the
Mm.
last one they worked
Mm-hmm.
on the last day. So as you're finalizing and getting things done, you're opening up the same stuff, and so having easy access to that, but then also easy access to those that's been shared with you. If you get an email saying so and so shared this, great. Where's that email now, right? And what
Mm.
if you deleted it? But I still need access to those documents. So having that, bringing that accessibility for we just want to get our stuff done and move on, right? Nobody,
Mm.
I don't want to be sitting there working on a Word document or a PowerPoint or Excel, whatever file it is, just because, and I don't want to be searching for it just to waste time. I want to get
Yep.
it done and move on. So I think it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Look, this is part of the reason too that the Office.com landing page was switched back to the
Yeah,
default. Remember,
right.
it was a month or two back that if you had chosen to start your day in SharePoint Home or Delve or Yammer, that no longer was the default. It's now back to the Office.com homepage, where search is front and center. So
That's
there's
right.
that. There's of course it's unifying the search across SharePoint. The other,
OneDrive.
yeah, and
And
the other
I mean,
area that some people
the
sort of, well, go ahead.
No, I was just saying the section. So on Office.com, the you get your apps, right? And then you have documents, and it's pretty much a documents there on out. You get some recommended, and this is the graph going. Maybe this stuff is what you want to be using, and then you have your section that I find very important is the recent, which is the ones you've been updating. Pinned if you've pinned any, and then shared with me, which is again going back to those files that people have shared with you, and then the discover, which is other people working on stuff in OneDrive and that are shared with you. So, and then section below that is SharePoint sites in OneDrive. But anyway, documents front and center. Like I said, we're using Office to get work done, whether it is, PowerPoint, Excel, Power BI, whatever, but having those documents front and center is fantastic.
I was just clicking away to try and check if that search feature had appeared in my experience of Office Online apps.
Let me fire this.
So it's not there, but it is definitely on my desktop, which is interesting that they haven't made it available from that point. Let's keep it moving. We've got praise, automatic search, and then this thingo.
Ooh, a thingo.
Voicemail available now for all voice over IP enabled users in Microsoft Teams. This is traditionally a feature that you only get when you're using enterprise telephony, enterprise voice. And you turn it on, and when someone calls your landline and you've managed to direct it through to what was Skype for Business and potentially in Teams if you have that available to you, you can add voicemail. Now that feature's available even for the organizations that are just using the voice over IP. No enterprise voice involved, but let's say a organization of 2,000 people, you place a call to your colleague and they're not there, and you might leave them a voice message, and that's what's going to be available to us. That's I could say it's a big deal, maybe, if that's your working style. Do you manage voicemail much, Daniel?
So I have a love-hate with voicemail. If you call me and don't leave a voicemail, I'm not calling you back. Just letting everybody know. If you call me, leave a voicemail or send me a text.
But surely you see my number. Won't you call me back?
Yeah, I'm not doing it. So make sure you leave me a voicemail. But then voicemails, I think, for the organization can be a really critical thing if that's the way people work. And I think more and more people are working that way. If you call me, it must not be important. I'm not going to – why would I call you back? You're the one trying to reach me. I don't have a lot of time to sit here and call everybody back that's calling me. In fact, I get probably twice as many calls that are spam or phishing or some sort of malicious thing than I do real calls, it seems. So I'm not calling phone numbers back. If you leave me a voicemail and it's a real thing. So this, I think, is fantastic. If you have a colleague who reaches out to you, calls you via Teams and they can leave you a voicemail, I think it's just fantastic that this is enabled. Do you work out of voice? I mean, do you get a lot of voicemail yourself?
The only voicemail that gets left for me is on a mobile. And people have come to understand, and I think they've picked up this habit too, that if you didn't get hold of me, then they're going to send me a text message, an IM, or something else where I can quickly glance and see, I'm trying to get hold of you. Can you get in touch with me about this?
I think it's funny that you said or.
Or?
Yeah, or. That somehow people they're just going to send you. You said send you a text or an instant message. I think what's fun is I call you and you don't answer. I'm going to send you an IM saying, hey, just let you know I just called you. Please call me back. Yep. Oh, you might not be at your computer, so I'll send you a text.
Right.
And you might not have your phone, so I better send you an email too.
So I'll send across all the channels where I know you live. Actually, that's the modern day challenge, isn't it? Yeah, I work with this person. What channels do they live in? I work with this channel. They're three different channels, or maybe there's some
This
overlapping
is
ones.
exactly what I've been saying, Darrell.
Uh,
We got into this mantra of do what you want, communicate the way you want, the way your team wants. Well, what if you're a member of five different teams and all five work differently? Some
yeah.
work out of email, some work out of they text. I've got a group text going on right now.
Hmm.
Some work out of IM, some work out of Teams. Okay,
So
that's
I've got to
fine.
keep a mental Rolodeck of
Yeah,
who you are and how I should communicate with you. Your preferred
right.
method.
And if I don't know that,
Yeah.
then I'm just going to hit you up on all of them, and
Yeah.
hopefully you'll answer at some point. So,
So there is a business opportunity there to have a unified IM
yes.
slash whatever client that
See,
you
I
just
thought we
hit it
had
there and it
this.
spreads it all out to everything.
I thought we had something like that in the
We've had a few in
past.
the
Maybe
past.
it died. But I thought there was something very, very similar to where you could,
Well,
it
let's
wasn't
bring
just
it back to
phones,
this. Let's bring it
it was
back to
send a
the
message quicker.
chosen platform though. Here we're calling
Yeah.
someone in Teams. We have a choice. Then do we leave a voicemail or do we send them a chat? Hello,
Yeah.
just trying to get hold of
What
you.
what I would like to see, and this is the challenge, I think would be great, is once I receive a voicemail from Teams, can I kick off a workflow that transcribes it and sends me a text and an email
Right.
and sends me a chat message
Take a closer
in
look at the
Teams,
message too. This is a capability that was in Enterprise Voice for Skype. That
right?
you can turn it on and it can transcribe your message.
Right.
Now, of course, it favors our American friends because that's where all the software is developed, and
Yay!
that's the accent that they base it off. So have fun with Australian settings or New Zealand
Right.
settings. It's absolutely garbled, and that's
Just
why
just
most of
speak
us turn it
regular
off.
English, y'all.
Regular English, y'all.
That was supposed
um,
to be funny. I
yeah,
hope it
no,
was.
I
I hope
got
it
it.
comes
I got
over
it.
as sarcasm. I hope everybody got that.
You all. I keep thinking of Jackie Chan and his attempts to say "yaw, yaw,
Yeah,
yaw." Last one. I think this arrived actually. Oh no, not in
fairly so.
just recently.
Fairly so. But yeah.
Automated incident response with Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection. Ooh, they're
And
getting all
remember, we've
cute with
talked
the
about advanced
acronyms.
threat
Yeah.
protection last week, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's getting quite a few updates to help
Is
you manage your threats. What's this one do? Um, it's feature enables you to
this one
run automated investigations and remediation via a
right?
playbook.
Right. And I think that's really kind of for me this I don't want to say holy grail, but it's um, for a lot of people when you're going in and doing investigations, it's this um, hunting and pecking, right?
Mm,
What am I looking for? How do I find these things? And to be able to really have an automated way to be, so I'm not hunting and pecking, and I'm actually getting to what I need. So having this playbook to do these automated investigations and remediation, I think is a cool thing. So this is the it enables you, and that it exists today. So in preview, they're introducing two, I guess, playbooks with more coming. So user reported fish alert and playbook. So fishing. Do you fish, Darrell?
yeah, I often ring up vulnerable people in the community and try and get their credit card details, and
Okay,
say that
but see, this
that.
was another opportunity for you to sing because this,
Oh,
fish. Ah,
no,
uh-huh.
no. So
Yep,
I
yep.
don't have a song at mine. But what I do have in mind is that when someone comes across that alert and they've done the security awareness course and they're practicing safe practices online. So one of the first things that they have to do, of course, is let's tell people who care about this in my organization. Let's make people aware, and let's tell look out for this message. Well,
Yep.
this is going to automate that. It's going to say who else has received an email with this kind of pattern, this kind of text, this kind of subject, and it's going
Right.
to group that threat together and help you manage it. Nice.
Right. Agreed.
Um, I think that it goes the same for malicious URLs. So similar kind of thing, that it's seeing that pattern across messages that are coming in. And if it detects that there's similar behavior from that URL, it's going to group it together and help you deal with that and apply recommended actions. Very nice.
Yes. I like recommended actions.
Well, yeah, we need that kind of guidance, you and I.
Yes.
Look, that's the messages. That's the show. We have it's really a singing show this morning, isn't it? Or today now. Thank you all for chipping in there. Actually, there's a message there from Dean on that topic of managing multiple messages and message platforms. Meetfriends.com plug. I have tried it out actually as a way of managing and being logged into multiple tenants, and then it's essentially like a browser, but every tab in that browser is its own incognito bubbled identity, and you can sign in and make it use that. So yeah, do take a look at that one. It's just as hungry as Chrome, just keeping you aware.
Right.
So if you make sure you got some good resources there to run, or just don't sign into too many platforms. And yeah, just encourage you to have a look at that search interview with Naomi Moneypenny. She's got a lot of information there. I got to the point where I'd been sitting on it for a while. I wanted to break it up into 2 or 3 videos and thought, look, search is being released now. It's in the message center. Let's leave you guys to it so you can work your way through it and just watch it in a couple of sittings. Yeah.
and just an release today is the 3rd episode of the 365 chat, the coffee chat on 365 adoption that Sarah and I did. So we just released that today. So go watch that as well. And
it's on my playlist.
We have watch to the end. There's your hint. Everybody that watches this show, you get that nice little nugget there. Watch to the very, very end, even past the credits. And then also there's toward the very end, there's a URL that we put on there to send questions so we can put together the 4th episode answering everyone's questions. So
all right, this is good interactivity. Looking forward to that 4th episode and good stuff from Sarah Huzzy and Daniel Glenn. Well, that was our show. That was our people today. Right now, this is Daniel and Darrell tonight. We'll see you again next week. And remember, in Australasia and this side of the world, we're switching over daylight savings. And so we'll push that episode to let me think about it. Just look out for it. I've got to adjust the time.
Nice.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.